People who negotiate, whether men or women, typically earn anywhere between $350,000 to $1 million more during the time of their career than people who do not negotiate. Men tend to negotiate more than women. So we want to break that, because no matter what laws are made about equal pay, if we're not playing the game of actually negotiating our income, we will never, ever, ever, ever get equal pay, because it is that essential a part of the whole process. It's kind of like expecting to get the job without going on an interview. You're not going to get paid appropriately without negotiating. 84% of hiring managers expect you to negotiate. So the first offer is absolutely never the best offer they can make. So we're going to talk about how to actually have a script. Think Sarah Palin and the VP debates. If you saw anything about game change, she did not know all the answers. She didn't understand the questions sometimes, but they had to memorize the answers to the questions they expected. And just like a vice presidential debate, a salary or benefits negotiation has certain paths, certain expected no's that you're going to hear. And we'll talk about, you don't need to learn everything there is about negotiation. We can just give you some good answers to move on to the next thing, to get past those little hiccups along the road. The beauty part is, we women are absolutely amazing negotiators. We just don't think we are. We actually grow the pie. If the other party starts with $10, we somehow make it 15. We're really good at collaborative negotiating. You're thinking about the other person. And it actually falls into place because we are relationship-based people. And I know I'm doing a lot of broad strokes about the genders. If you're not a relationship-based person and you're more focused on the money, that's fine too. Just saying, if you had 10 women, more of them would be relationship than transactional based. 3 numbers though. As a candidate, you should always know what your walkaway number. And if you're currently working, your walkaway number is not a penny less than what you're making now. At least where you're working now. Never give an ultimatum. Unless you actually really do have a job about to pay you $20,000 more than what you're making, do not give an ultimatum. But that should be, if you're going for a raise, kind of your walkaway is, well, they better not take money away from you. If you go for a new job, you really should have the walkaway of at least a 10% increase, because that really should be the minimum. But you're going to have the goal. And the goal truly is the market value. Now, we women make over 80% of the purchasing decisions in the country. We're amazing consumers. We know what gas station to go to save 2 cents on the gallon. We know where to get the little black dress at a 50% discount on Tuesdays, online versus in store. How many of you can tell me what your job is actually valued at? I want you to use the exact same consumer mentality to find out the value of your job in your industry, in your location. So tech and science in Boston, what is it paying this year? And next year it's going to pay differently every year. Think of it going to the doctor once a year. Check it out every year. Are you keeping pace? And you can check it out through online websites. We'll talk about the different places you can check it out. But that's your goal. Your goal isn't what do I need to pay the car and the rent and my kids' braces and a vacation to wherever. The goal is what is like a house. Am I buying in Dover or am I buying in Chelsea? 2 different markets, 2 different prices. You need to be aware of them. And then you also need to have a counter. You need to ask for more than what you want or deserve to get it. So if you do the research and discover your job should really be paying $60,000 and you're making $45,000, and they offer you $50,000, you're going to counter with like $70,000, $75,000, so that you have a shot at getting the $60,000. Does that make sense? Okay, at the same time that you have 3 numbers, the hiring managers have 3 numbers. Or your boss has 3 numbers. Well, I can't pay her less than she's making today, but we're doing annual review. And I want to give her a 2% raise, but I can go up to 4. So even on the annual reviews, you can negotiate that. Not by much, but you can get a little. For a new job, the hiring manager is like, well, I know she's making 50, so my first offer will be 55. But the budget for the job is 65, and I think I can get her at 58. Our goal here is truly, and this is the win-win, the collaborative negotiating that we do amazingly well, is for both parties to land somewhere between that goal that is really the market value of the job, which is really what the white guys are making, to put it bluntly, and what the budget is of the hiring manager. We're not asking them to leave, and it's not their personal money. We're just asking them to stay within their budget, but as close to the top as possible. So if you can land somewhere between those 2 numbers, you have just won a really good negotiation. Now, I've had people come to me and say, but their budget truly is only 45 and the market value of the job is 60. Go look for another job. I can't help you win that. No one can. Just go look for another job. There's many a company that has the mentality that we bring them in young, we burn them out, they learn everything they need, and they go get a well-paying job elsewhere. If you're too dumb to realize that that's what's going on, they're not going to tell you to leave. But if you look around the room, and you're 40 and everyone else is 27, something's wrong. Those are never going to win. You're always going to just be stuck where you are. Go look elsewhere. But there is a winning proposition. Okay, so now we're going to start the script part. So that was a little background. Now the scripting. So if you're going for a new job, and you get offered the new job, as women, although 84% of hiring managers expect us to negotiate, there still is a little backlash for us being kind of bitchy if we do. And that's whether or not you're negotiating with a man or a woman. And that's according to Harvard research, so I'm not going to fight Harvard on that. I'm going to believe them. But the good thing is that research also gave us a solution. And the solution is really just giving them some sugar, flirting, kissing up, whatever you want to call it. We have to be really girly before we start doing the negotiating. So you want to start with something like, thank you so much for the offer. I can't believe I have the opportunity to work here with you. I'm going to learn so much. You're amazing. Whatever you think you need to say to get it going. And then you're going to say, I need time to review. And I don't care if they just offered you $2 million and you thought you could get 5. Because that means the job is worth closer to the $2 million and you just are really bad at doing your research. And also, nowadays, with the way healthcare is, if you're going from a company who pays 70% of your premium and it's a good package of insurance and there's no deductibles and all that other stuff, and you're going to a company that pays 30% of the premium and it's not as good a level of healthcare, that can cost you $10,000 easily difference. So what you just thought you got as a jump in pay ends up being really like a break even. So you really do need, this isn't lying, you really do need that time to sit and do the math and figure it out. Vacation versus insurance versus short-term, long-term disability, life insurance. All those things need to kind of run a spreadsheet. Figure out, am I really apples to apples making more money with this? And then just say, can I get back to you next week, by the end of the week, whatever the timing is. So the red part's important. That's the first step. And you may get the offer from HR, you may get it from your future boss. Those typically are the two. And you'll probably get it over the phone or through an email. Whoever gives you this, you're going to get back to the hiring manager, not to HR. HR, according to Eleanor Roosevelt, she has a great quote of never take no from a person who can't say yes. I just described HR. They can't say yes. It's the hiring manager's budget 9 times out of 10. There may be a lot of rules and regulations. HR is all about making sure the company doesn't get sued. It's just evolved to that over the years with more and more laws. So you really try to, whenever possible, the hiring manager. And when you call back, it's thanks so much. Once again, that whole, I'm so excited about the job, can't believe I get to work with you, you're an amazing person. However, and these are the words you just want to memorize, that offer seems low. Now notice, I'm not saying no. I'm not giving a counter. I'm just stating a potential fact based on my research. Well, they know they're underpaying you. They know it. You're just guessing it. They know that there's a kid who graduated 3 weeks ago getting paid more than you because the market has changed so drastically. So that whole idea of just because people who work at a company longer get paid more, it's absolutely wrong. It's the opposite. If your job is something that's important, the young kids coming in, because it gets harder and harder to hire, are getting paid more. Contacted me, wanted to go talk about a raise. And I can't really do this because when I got a divorce, this guy saved my life by giving me a job and yada, yada, yada. Relationship. Took her 6 months. She finally went in and asked for the raise. And she started with, I know this is an uncomfortable conversation. And he looked at her and said, what are you talking about? It's a business conversation. I am going to forget about it 2 seconds after you leave the room. Either I say yes or I say no. It's uncomfortable for you. It has nothing to do with my life. Either I have the money or I don't. Does that help?